welcome to episode 101 of Piv's NXT Point of View podcast. My name is Bill Pivets. So this week's episode, we had two advertised matches. Tyler Bate will be defending his UK Championship against Trent Seven, and Billie Kay and Peyton Royce will face Liv Morgan and a partner of her choosing. Show kicked off with the Authors of Pain defeating two jobbers. Rezar manhandled both of them. They landed stereo, I think it was a Death Valley driver, into the corner. They then hit the last chapter on one of the opponents to get the win. After the match, they hit the double powerbomb spot and walked out. Another squash match, really nothing to get too excited about. It's Authors of Pain just showing dominance as they're leading it to TakeOver Orlando. Just trying to keep them hot and menacing, which I think the tag match that we're going to get is going to be pretty sick considering what happened later on in the night. We then got a video package highlighting Tyler Bate, his win in the UK tournament, and some of the stuff that makes him who he is. We got tweets on Nakamura's health saying that he's in the Performance Center training, yet he's been on the recent house show loop, including when I saw him in Asbury Park. So they're trying to keep him off NXT TV at least until they're ready. Second match was the women's tag match, Billie Kay, Peyton Royce against Liv Morgan, and it was Ember Moon. I was not expecting that, considering they're kind of building towards a feud with her and Asuka. They kind of hinted at that last week. I was expecting more of Aaliyah and Daria, or one of the two at least. Yeah, because they at least have a deeper rivalry with Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. It just seemed Ember was here just for the star power. Ember was in control of Billie Kay, but Peyton Royce got involved, and the heels took over for a little bit. Liv got the hot tag and clotheslined Royce. Kay kicked Ember off the apron. Royce then hit Liv with an assisted side kick and got the win. Well, at least Liv Morgan took the pin, but if they were going to have that match, I'm not sure why they had Ember Moon. That would have been a perfect spot for Daria or Aaliyah just to get some airtime on NXT. We already know who Ember Moon is. We've seen her plenty of times. She's over. She didn't need to be in this match, especially on the losing end. And again, it was just another short match, really not much to get invested in. They tried to fit a lot in the short amount of time, but I don't know. It was just a quick match. You could blink and it was over. We got a recap of Sanity's attack on Ty Dillinger and the brawl that took effect after that, leading up to the six-man tag from last week. Roderick Strong and No Way Jose were interviewed at the Performance Center on why they helped out Ty and what they have against Sanity. DIY came out. They said that their dreams came true in Toronto, and Gargano said that he saw fear in the Authors of Pain eyes in San Antonio. They're ready for the challenge and want their rematch. Paul Ellering and the Authors of Pain came out. He said they will get their rematch in 2 weeks. He then said, make peace with your loved ones before then. In a comical spot, Gargano and Ciampa said, I love you to each other, and then turned their focus back onto the Authors of Pain. Out of nowhere, the Revival came out and attacked DIY from behind. They hit Gargano with the Shatter Machine. Authors of Pain ran down and chased off the Revival. And this is what I was hinting at. It looks like they're going to be a 3-team match at TakeOver Orlando for the tag team titles. And with the way these three teams have faced off in the past, especially with Authors of Pain improving greatly over the last year, I think it should be a very interesting match. Authors of Pain should win, with the other two teams moving up to the main roster after WrestleMania. It'll deplete the tag team division greatly, but I think the Authors of Pain need to have a long title run similar to the Ascension, and then just have one team just rise up and take them out, maybe TM6-1 when they come back. But I think the 3-team match at TakeOver will be very interesting and will get the crowd on their feet. We then got a video package for Trent Seven and a video hype package for Kassius Ohno's NXT return. And I'm very interested to see how the NXT TV crowd, especially at Full Sail, reacts to him. I really hope we don't get any Chris Hero chants like we did at the house shows, but it's bound to happen. They know who these guys are, so. But I'm looking forward to having Ohno back on. They need another babyface on the main event scene in NXT. William Regal then announced there will be a 3-way match next week between Peyton Royce, Liv Morgan, and Ember Moon to determine the number 1 contender for Asuka's NXT Women's Championship. All that led to our main event of Tyler Bate versus Trent Seven for the United Kingdom Championship. Apparently, over in London, these two were in a tag team called Mustache Mountain. That's a pretty cool name. They did 2 collar and elbow tie-ups, and after each one, they each twiddled each other's mustaches. Tom Phillips announced that Pete Dunne or Pete Dune will be competing next week. Trent was on offense for a little bit. Percy and Nigel argued about soccer, football, and rugby and all that stuff. Bate took control as they went to a commercial break. Trent no-sold a bunch of strikes. Tyler landed a diving European uppercut and a dive over the top to the outside. He got a near fall. Trent actually got a near fall after a sit-out driver. Bate had Seven in an airplane spin for about 10 or 12 rotations. Seven hit a Snapdragon suplex and a powerbomb for another near fall, and then transitioned right into a single leg crab. As Tyler Bate was taunting a little bit, Trent got another near fall with a 7-star lariat, as I call it. Tyler Bate hit a huge exploder suplex off the top rope and got another near fall. The final was a rolling wheel kick into the Tyler Driver 97 to get the win. A good match, definitely picked up towards the end, especially in the final few minutes with all the big spots and the near falls. But the beginning of the match was very slow, just building up anticipation for the comeback at least. Overall though, it was a weak show of NXT. They were building towards the UK Championship match, and I think it was more of a half of the match was interesting, kind of like the Super Bowl. The first half was a little boring, second half was where it got exciting and the crowd was into it. Other than that, the women's tag match was whatever, and we've seen enough Authors of Pain matches to know that it doesn't end with them losing. Like I mentioned, Pete Dunne will be in action next week, and the three-way women's match will also take place, but the show builds after that. We have the NXT tag title match, and Kassius Ohno will be returning to NXT TV shortly. So we are getting the ball rolling for TakeOver Orlando. We got another, I think it's beginning of April is when that's going to take place, so a little less than 2 months away, so they got to space it out a little bit. But it's going to be some boring episodes of NXT until the final month or so for the final build for TakeOver. Alright guys, that's it. It was a quick episode. So come back next week for episode 102. Follow me on Twitter at bpiv_sports. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff on YouTube. I'll check you back next week. Peace.